Alright guys, here are all the matches that have received a 5-star match rating according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. These are his ratings, so let's get into it. Up first, we have the match between Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. This was from Wrestlemania 10 in 1994. So Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels competed in a ladder match to determine who was the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. This was the first televised ladder match in history. Both Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon had their titles hung above the ring. Razor picked up the win in a classic match to become the undisputed champion. The match was also very groundbreaking and showed fans how awesome ladder matches could be. Decades later, the ladder match is still a fixture on WWE television, and without this first match, it might not be where it is today. So this was the first ever WWF/E match to ever receive a 5-star rating from Meltzer. It was voted the match of the year for 1994 from both the Wrestling Observer and Pro Wrestling Illustrated. This is the only time that Razor Ramon appears on this list, but it would not be the final time for the Heartbreak Kid. Okay, so up next we have the match between Bret Hart and Owen Hart. This was from SummerSlam in 1994. So in a family affair, Bret Hart took on his brother Owen Hart in a steel cage match at SummerSlam for the WWF Championship. The feud between Owen and Bret really took off at the 1994 Royal Rumble, where Owen turned heel by attacking the injured leg of his brother. The storyline involved Owen being upset that Bret wanted to keep him in his shadow. The two squared off at WrestleMania X, where Owen was victorious. By the way, that match received a 4.75 match rating. So the feud continued, leading to this memorable match at SummerSlam 1994 inside of a steel cage. So the match went for about 30 minutes and featured an incredible display of technical prowess and wrestling psychology from both men. Bret successfully retained the WWF Championship in a match that is considered one of the best in SummerSlam history. The feud between the brothers was voted Feud of the Year from the readers of Pro Wrestling Illustrated in 1994. This was the first of 2 5-star matches in Bret's career, and this is the only time that Owen made the list in his career. Up next, we had the match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin from WrestleMania 13 in 1997. So the famous submission match at WrestleMania 13 between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin received a 5-star match rating. Steve Austin passed out in a pool of his own blood while locked in the sharpshooter, refusing to tap out. This was a great example of a double turn in professional wrestling. Hart kept the sharpshooter locked in even after he was awarded the win from the special guest referee Ken Shamrock, turning heel in the process. Austin became a fan favorite for his credible guts and refusal to give up. So this was a fantastic match. It also helped launch Steve Austin into the stratosphere for his career, one of the many reasons this match earned Match of the Year honors for 1997 from both the Wrestling Observer and Pro Wrestling Illustrated. This was the second and final time that Bret received the match rating in his career. This was Austin's first 5-star match at WWE, but he was also a part of one in 1992 prior to joining the company. So this does not make the list because it's not a WWE 5-star match. Up next, we have the match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker from WWF In Your House 18 Bad Blood. This is from 1997. So the first ever Hell in a Cell match took place between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. This was at the In Your House 18 event. The winner would go on to face Bret Hart at Survivor Series for the WWF Championship, which actually turned out to be the Montreal Screwjob, funny enough. So both guys put on a fantastic match and really showed how great Hell in a Cell matches could be. This match also featured the debut of Kane, who ripped open the cell wall and took out The Undertaker with a tombstone. This allowed Shawn Michaels to pick up the win. The match was good enough to earn a 5-star match rating from Meltzer. It remained as the last 5-star match until 2011 in WWE. So a huge kind of delay from this match until the next one coming up. And this was actually the first and only time that The Undertaker received the match rating in his career, and the second and final time that Shawn would receive the rating. Many fans would argue that their matches at WrestleMania deserved to be 5 stars, but both of them received a 4.75 rating and do not make this list. Up next, we have the match between CM Punk and John Cena. This is from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in 2011. So you probably noticed a big time jump from this list of 5-star matches. So WWE had to wait 14 years until it got another perfect match rating from Dave Meltzer. So the main event of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in 2011 was CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. Vince McMahon threatened Cena that he would be fired if he lost to Punk. Punk ended up winning in a fantastic match from both guys, tons of chemistry from both, and a really, really fun match. The match went for over 30 minutes. It was entertaining from start to finish, great storytelling from both involved. So the Wrestling Observer newsletter and Pro Wrestling Illustrated voted for this as the best match in 2011 in pro wrestling. This was Punk's second five-star match, with the first coming against Samoa Joe back in 2004 for Ring of Honor. This is the first time in Cena's career that he received this match rating. Up next, we have the match between Johnny Gargano and Andrade Almas. This is from the NXT Takeover Philadelphia event in 2018. So I decided to include NXT events in this list just because they were done under the WWE banner. So I think it's fair to include NXT matches. This starts a run of a bunch of NXT Takeover matches that received 5 stars. So the first was Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Almas. So, these two faced off at Takeover Philadelphia, which was during Royal Rumble weekend in 2018. This was an incredible match from bell to bell and kept fans engaged for the entire time. Almas hit an elevated hammerlock DDT on Gargano to retain the title. This is one of the best matches in NXT history and well deserved of this star rating. Not to mention the ending where Tommaso Ciampa came out to attack Gargano after the war that he had just endured. Some great storytelling and a match that is deserving of 5 stars. This was the first NXT match to receive 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. This was also the first time that both Johnny Gargano and Andrade Almas would receive the 5-star rating in their careers for WWE or for other companies. Up next, we have Adam Cole versus EC3 versus Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan versus Ricochet versus the Velveteen Dream. This was from NXT TakeOver New Orleans in 2018. So another ladder match gets added to the list of 5-star matches. This was the inaugural NXT North American Championship match at TakeOver New Orleans. This was a really fun match with a bunch of big moments. All 6 men got involved and seemed like they were trying to one-up one another. This match actually kicked off the TakeOver New Orleans card and did so with a bang. The match was eventually won by Adam Cole, who became the inaugural title holder. Prior to this match, Cole and Ricochet were the only 2 to receive a 5-star match rating from Meltzer, but this came prior to the times in WWE. All 5 of these guys, or all 6 guys, sorry, received their first WWE 5-star match rating. Okay, so sticking with NXT TakeOver New Orleans, we also have the match between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So a grudge match took place as the main event of TakeOver New Orleans. This match was built for over a year, and it delivered. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano put on a show. Some great storytelling and emotion. These two have amazing chemistry, and it was really fun to watch. This is Gargano's second 5-star match rating in only a few months. This was also the first time that a WWE event has had 2 5-star matches on the same card, which was the ladder match I just talked about in this one. Okay, so up next we have Mustache Mountain, who was Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, versus the Undisputed Era, who was Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. This was from the July 11, 2018 episode of NXT. So Mustache Mountain faced off against the Undisputed Era on the July 11, 2018 episode of NXT. This was for the NXT Tag Team Championships. So the drama of the match was the Undisputed Era targeting the leg of Trent Seven. Eventually, Bate had to throw in the towel for his partner after he refused to give up. So some great storytelling and a really fun match. This is actually the first tag team match that makes this list. It is also the first match that didn't happen at a pay-per-view or an NXT TakeOver special. This was just a regular episode of NXT, which is pretty cool. Up next, we have the match between Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. This is at the NXT TakeOver New York event in 2019. So Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano faced off at NXT TakeOver New York for the vacant NXT Championship. This was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Johnny Gargano was able to win the match 2 falls to 1. There was plenty of fun moments, and fans were raving about it after it was over. With the win, Gargano was finally able to become NXT champion. He celebrated with Candice LeRae and Tommaso Ciampa to close the show. Note, this match actually received 5.5 stars, so more than the 5-star rating, and making it the first match to ever receive more than just a 5-star rating in WWE history. Okay, so up next we have another match between Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. This time it took place at the NXT TakeOver XXV event in 2019. So Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano followed up their incredible match at TakeOver New York with another classic at TakeOver XXV. This was for Gargano's NXT Championship. Cole was able to win the match this time after about 32 minutes. This was a really fun match with plenty of great moments. This was Cole's first time winning the NXT Championship. He celebrated with the rest of Undisputed Era to close the event. This match received 5.25 stars, making it the second match to ever receive more than 5 stars in WWE history. So both Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano matches at TakeOver events received more than 5 stars. Up next, we have Tyler Bate versus Walter. This was at the NXT Takeover Cardiff event in 2019. So Tyler Bate and Walter faced off at TakeOver Cardiff for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. This was an awesome match, and both guys deserve a lot of praise. This was easily the best match of the night, and one that was talked about for a while. Walter was able to win the match after about 40 minutes, and he retained the WWE UK Championship. This match received a 5.25 star rating, so making it the third match in a row on this list that received more than just a 5-star match rating in WWE history. Okay, so up next we have the match between Walter and Ilya Dragunov. This is from the NXT UK episode that aired on October 29th, 2020. So the October 29th edition of NXT UK featured a match between Walter and Ilya Dragunov. This was for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. This was an extremely hard-hitting match. Both guys kicked the crap out of one another and put on a really fun match. Walter was able to retain the title after a lengthy match. This match marks the first match from NXT UK that received a 5-star match rating from Meltzer. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven were part of the NXT UK roster when they had their match with the Undisputed Era, but that match took place on NXT TV. So this is the first NXT UK match that received the 5-star match rating. Up next, we have another match between Walter and Ilya Dragunov. So this took place at NXT Takeover 36. That took place on August 22nd, 2021. So NXT Takeover 36 featured a match between Walter and Ilya Dragunov. This was for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. They ended up putting on another fantastic match. They proved once again that they have some amazing chemistry with one another. Dragunov was able to win the match to become the new champion. This match actually received a 5.25 star rating, so a little bit more than 5, making it the fourth match to ever receive more than 5 stars in WWE history. Okay, so let's jump back to the WWE main roster. So now we have the match between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. This was from the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view from 2022. So the 2022 edition of Hell in a Cell featured the match between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. This was a Hell in a Cell match. The big story of the match was Cody competing with a torn pec. Fans were surprised that he was able to compete in the match in general, let alone put on such a classic match against Seth. This will go down as an all-time gutsy performance from Cody. Up next, we have the match between Gunther and Sheamus. This is from the Clash at the Castle pay-per-view in 2022. So Gunther and Sheamus faced off in the match in Cardiff. This was for the Intercontinental Championship. So this was a very hard-hitting and entertaining match. Gunther won after about 19 minutes. So this is Gunther, aka Walter's 4th time on this list so far, and the first appearance for Sheamus so far. Up next, we have the match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Jimmy and Jey Uso. This is from Night 1 of WrestleMania 39 in 2023. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens faced off against the Usos on Night 1 of WrestleMania 39. This was for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships and was the main event of Night 1. This ended up being a really great tag team match to close the show. Owens and Zayn won the tag team titles in a match that was just over 24 minutes. This is the first time that all 4 of these men appear on this list. Up next, we have the match between Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus in a triple threat match. This is from Night 2 of WrestleMania 39 in 2023. So Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus faced off in a triple threat match on Night 2 of WrestleMania 39. This was for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a hard-hitting match between three guys that are known for their toughness. Gunther ended up winning to retain the title after about 16 minutes. Gunther and Sheamus both have made this list before. This is Drew's first appearance on this list, but not his last. Up next, we have Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles from the Backlash France pay-per-view in 2024. So Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles faced off at Backlash France in 2024. This was for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody ended up winning the match to retain the title after about 27 minutes. This is Cody's second appearance on this list, and he will appear later on. This is AJ Styles' only 5-star match in WWE, but he had previously had one while he was working in TNA. Okay, so up next we have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. This is from the 2024 Bad Blood pay-per-view event. So CM Punk and Drew McIntyre faced off at Bad Blood in 2024. This was a Hell in a Cell match. Punk ended up winning this Hell in a Cell match after about 30 minutes. So this is the second appearance for Punk and McIntyre on this list. Both previously had 5-star matches in WWE. Okay, so next we have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn from the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in 2025 that took place in Toronto. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn faced off in the Elimination Chamber event in Toronto, Canada. This was an unsanctioned match between them to kind of settle their feud. Owens ended up winning this unsanctioned match after about 27 minutes. So this is the second appearance for both Kevin and Sami on this list. As of recording this video, this is both of their last 5-star matches. Next, we have the triple threat match between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. This is from WrestleMania 41 in 2025. So to kick off night 2 of WrestleMania 41, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair faced off in a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Io ended up winning after about 14 minutes. Really solid match to kind of kick off WrestleMania 41. This is actually the first and only WWE women's match to receive a 5-star match rating from Meltzer as of recording this, so props to these 3 women. Up next, we have the Street Profits versus DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns. This was from the SmackDown episode that took place on April 25th, 2025. So the April 25th, 2025 episode of SmackDown featured the Triple Threat TLC match. This involved the Street Profits, DIY, and the Motor City Machine Guns. The Street Profits ended up winning the tag team titles in a bit of a wild match. This was actually the first SmackDown match to ever receive the 5-star match rating. So an impressive feat for these guys because it's not as easy to do it on a live TV episode than a pay-per-view. Okay, so that leaves us with John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. This is on night 2 of SummerSlam in 2025. So Cody Rhodes and John Cena faced off in the main event of night 2 at SummerSlam. This was a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody ended up winning after about 35 minutes. Brock Lesnar returned after the match and attacked Cena. Both Cena and Rhodes previously appeared on this list. That will do it for the WWE 5-star matches list as of early 2026. These are the only matches that have received the 5-star match rating in WWE history. Let me know in the comment section below what matches that you think should be on this list. Just off the top of my head, I think both Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels matches deserve to be 5 stars. I think the Bayley versus Sasha Banks matches from the NXT Takeovers, either one should be on this list. I think both were 5-star matches in my brain. Those are just kind of 4 matches from the top of my head. Let me know what matches you think should be on this list in the comment section below. Please subscribe to this channel for more predictions, star ratings, and kind of WWE related content. Thanks a lot.